Hello, I'm back. Today is back-to-back recording days and training because I have been putting off all of my podcasts and putting off all of the trainings that I have either had people request or that I have just had on my heart that I wanted to do. And so I'm back. So if you're watching the video recordings of this, yes, I'm wearing the same clothing because this is all recorded on the same day. And I'm not so fancy as to go and change my clothes between every recording. So you just get to see me in army green today and the next day and the next day, because that's what was happening. So this subject that we're talking about today is kind of my purpose and the whole reason why I started doing what I am doing, really. And it took time to develop this. When I first started, I didn't even know. Like, I didn't know that this is where I would land. But now I can see how everything came together. And so for those of you who don't know, kind of my tagline of everything I talk about is that I help midlife moms, midlife women rediscover their purpose and passion in life. And I came to that because I myself realized very quickly after telling everyone that all I ever wanted to do was be a stay-at-home mom and take care of my husband and my children and do all the things and just be a blessing to everyone, that I, in fact, was not built to do just that. I don't know if you've ever taken the color personality test. I will link that up, but I am a red in the color personality test. It's kind of like the Enneagram test that people do, but it's just based on colors. And it's kind of a cool one because it really helps you understand people and how they receive things. I am very impulsive. I'm very driven. And I like goals, but I'm also very fearful of what people think of me, afraid of failing or appearing that I failed, all those things. I'm competitive, all those things. Those are red. That is me. I'm a very strong red, and the other colors fall way behind in that scale. My husband, I think, I can't remember if he's a yellow and then red, but he's definitely not a red, which is probably a good thing. But, growing up, all I ever said that I wanted to do was be a stay-at-home mom. That was it. And then once I got into marriage and being a stay-at-home mom, I realized that number one, I like change. I do. I like things to be constantly mixed up and on the go. I am the epitome of the microwave society. I like instant results. And in my industry, that's not how it happens most of the time. Like, every once in a while, somebody gets lucky and it's instant results, but it takes work. It does. And anybody that tells you that the network marketing industry does not take work is lying to you, because it does. It takes work. Now, it's a different type of work, and it's a type of work that I love and that I'm passionate about, but it still takes work. And so I started in this industry before I was a midlife mom, but I had already realized that I needed something more in my life that gave me more of a purpose than just getting up, feeding people, changing diapers, being the pastor's wife, which holds its own certain expectations. And I needed something more. I was very goal driven and easily could get into a funk, get depressed, because I didn't have goals. I didn't have purpose. I wasn't seeing instant success. Because raising children is not like an instant success sort of a thing. It's a long haul type thing. And so, so I started in this industry back when Cooper was little bitty. And I actually didn't start directly in the direct sales or network marketing industry. I actually started with my own businesses, and through the years have done a little of both. We've had our own business. We had Davis Design Market, which we still have to some extent, but I don't do a lot with it. But very entrepreneurial minded. My husband is the same way. And it has worked for us because of how we're built and how our minds work and all of that type of stuff. But, in all of these years of doing either network marketing or, some sort of entrepreneurial thing, I really discovered that there is a need amongst moms specifically um, of just figuring out what in the world you're supposed to be doing. Uh, I think everybody kind of hits this point in life where they're like, huh, there's got to be something more for me than just X, Y, and Z. And so that's where I came into that focus of helping midlife moms rediscover their purpose and passion in life, because I saw so many moms that just felt lost. They were depressed, or they didn't feel like they really had a purpose or knew what they're supposed to be doing. Their kids are getting a little older. They don't need as much from them anymore. Maybe they never went to school and got a degree, and they, decided that they want to go back to school, or what, like they're just trying to figure things out. And so that really became my focus in everything that I do, is helping other midlife moms, because not that I have it all figured out, but the awesome thing about, all of these years in this industry is that I have this network, this amazing network of other women, and we all support each other. It's not a competition between all of us. It is literally like a family. And I've discovered we need that. I need that. With as much as we have moved over the years, I have friends all over the country. And to have this network that is part of my business, that I get to talk with on a daily basis, has really given me more of a purpose, more of a passion about what I'm doing. And so, so part of my purpose and passion is helping other midlife moms. Intertwined with that is, my passion for good health and nutrition, which again, kind of stumbled upon that. I didn't start out in the nutraceutical industry. I actually started out in the skincare industry, which is funny because I don't really wear a lot of makeup, and I had a terrible skincare regimen, like terrible. I was the worst person to be doing it. But I was very driven, and I was with Mary Kay for a while and earned my car and built an amazing team. And I've really never told this story, but I was actually terminated from Mary Kay. And it was because I was honest, believe it or not. Once again, honesty strikes. But I whenever I got started, so I started Mary Kay years and years and years ago, like when I was in college. I bought the biggest package because I was told that's what you do. And it was expensive when we were in college, and we did not have that kind of money. And I got it and realized really quickly this was not going to work. I didn't have a good support system at that time in that company. So I sent all the product back. Well, once you send your product back with Mary Kay, you can't be in Mary Kay again without writing a letter explaining why you returned your product. Then they will usually give you grace. Well, when I got started the second time, the girl that enrolled me, I told her, look, I've been in before. I returned product. I can't do this. And I actually went to the party knowing I could say no, because I knew I'd return product. I knew I couldn't get, bamboozled into doing this thing. And I told her that, and she's like, oh, it's no big deal. She's like, we can just sign up your husband and you guys can work it as a team. And there I was in Mary Kay again. Well, what I didn't know is when I filled out, this was before we had all the online stuff. When I filled out all the paperwork, I filled it out correctly and put my husband's name, his social security number, and all that stuff, right? Well, when the girl put it in online, she put it in with my name, but my husband's social security number. And when I won my car is when I first realized that, because we got paper checks back then, and I was only in it like that time. It was like a year. I moved through the ranks super fast. And so anyway, when I won my car, they sent me all the paperwork that you have to fill out. And I'm reading through the paperwork and realize that it's all in my name, but my husband's social security number. So I went to my national director and I'm like, what do I do? And she's like, we have to write a letter to the company. So I wrote a letter to the company, and I even sent them copies of the paperwork I filled out and said, this is what I filled out, but this is not what got put in the system. And, I noticed it whenever I was filling out my car paperwork. They sent me a nice letter back and said, we appreciate your honesty. You're terminated. And so I immediately lost all of my income. and we lost two houses. We lost our main home. We lost our rental property because at the time I was making a very nice paycheck from Mary Kay, and it went away just like that, which is another reason I learned to be very diversified. So I'm not sure why I went down this rabbit trail with you guys, but here we are. So anyway, so I was terminated from Mary Kay. And I don't think most people don't know that, honestly. There's a couple people that do, but most people do not realize I was actually fired from running my own business, which is another whole story. So if there's anybody that has an excuse to say, oh, network marketing, is a scam, it doesn't work, it would be me. Like I was angry. Because I felt like I had done the right thing and it ended up, biting me in the butt. However, I'm also that person here to say that it does work and you just have to be with the right people and know who you're connecting with. And so that is what ended up helping me make the shift into the nutraceutical industry, which I'm so thankful I did because it was during this time that my father ended up becoming, noticeably not well and diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's and dementia and a plethora of other things that were going on with his health. And so I became very, very interested and an advocate for good health. And it's not so that's why it's always never been just about weight loss for me. Yes, I want to be at my optimum weight and health because I think that that's important. That's what keeps you from ending up with diabetes and high blood pressure and all of those things that go with not being in the right weight for your body type. But it's much more about what nutrients are you absorbing, what are you doing to preserve or reverse aging in your brain or those types of things. And so so that's kind of what got me into the nutraceutical industry, and that in turn has taken me down this path of helping other moms and other women to discover their purpose and passion. And I talk with so many women on a daily basis, and they're not part of my team. They're not part of my business. They may be in other companies. They may be in other industries. I have friends that are in the real estate agency or industry, which is so similar, honestly, to network marketing because you're constantly putting yourself out there and saying, as a real estate agent, hey, buy from me or use me to find your next house. Like you have to be able to put yourself out there and gain business. And it seems like I think a lot of people look at the real estate agencies, oh, this is an easy industry. I'll go into real estate. And what they don't realize is it's basically the same thing as any sales or network marketing job. And that is you have to be willing to put yourself out there and, gain trust. People buy and shop with people that they know, that they like, and that they trust. And it all kind of comes together no matter what industry you're in. So I know I've gone like on 100 different rabbit trails on this particular session, but I wanted to bring all that to the center of the purpose of why I do what I do. So I put as much free content, as much helpful stuff out there. I put my life out there for you guys, not because I think that I'm some amazing person, so much better than anybody else. I don't think that at all. If anything, I have a very low self-esteem. I'm super introverted, and it has taken a lot of just getting over myself and putting myself out there and realizing that maybe I have something of value to help other people and just doing it. So I hope this helps somebody today, just to understand a little bit more about me, my mission, my purpose. And, if this resonates with you, let me know because I really, I'm here to help you. And obviously if you're part of my team on my business, you're going to get a ton of free coaching and mentorship from not only myself, but others that are part of our team that, have experienced pretty much everything from every aspect of life. That's what I love about our team is like, we have doctors, we have nurses, we have, teachers, we have moms, we have everybody that's on our team, and we all pour into each other. And we're just this amazing community. And it's really especially showed itself during COVID and the quarantine time, how important that this industry has been for me, because these were my people. Like, even if I couldn't leave my house and go anywhere and felt trapped, we huddled together every single weekday morning and just talked. You know, sometimes it was like church, and sometimes it was just training, business training, and those types of things. And we still do that to this day. Every weekday morning, we all huddle together, and we're all friends. Even though a lot of us, most of us, have not met face to face, we'll all meet. You know, when we go on this cruise that's coming up in November. But and I think I mentioned this before, but you know, in finding purpose and passion, I realized that I need goals. I need things that I'm working towards. Um, and that gives you that feeling of success. So whether it's, hey, you know, I want to help one new person get started this week with their own business because they need to bring in some extra income, or maybe they just want to get started because they need to get their health on track. Like, those little goals, like every month I set out in my office, I have my whiteboards and I put out, like, this is my personal goal. This is what I want to achieve this month. But you know what happens is, in achieving that personal goal, the only way I'm ever going to reach that is by helping other people reach their goals. And so once I've written down my goal and what I want, I don't really focus on that. I then focus on who can I help, and you know, who has goals that they want to reach, and it becomes all about everybody else and helping them, and then you just kind of naturally reach where you're going for. So anyway, I'll rewatch this and make sure it actually makes sense before I post it, but I hope it does. um, I hope that you get value from this. Comment, leave me questions, those types of things, because I'm going to be doing a lot more of these. I am going to be trying to do one on marriage, and specifically try to get my husband to hop on with me to talk about, you know, how all of this works in marriage, and you know, just how we've survived 26 years of marriage and 5 kids and a lot of craziness and a lot of moves. So feel free to message me questions, comment questions, whatever is easiest or comfortable for you. But I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm pretty sure it stopped and then it started. So we'll see. I may have to add this little clip on to the very end. The whole thing just shut down and came back. So who knows? All right. Y'all have an amazing day. I will talk to you soon.